Hello everyone, this is Kmet, your host for condovoice.com. The following video will demonstrate how you can use a Rylum tube to test how well your coatings are repelling the rain and how much moisture your surfaces are absorbing. A simple way to check if your paint is breaking down is to see if the surface is chalky. On a dry day, run your hand over a south wall and see if any chalky dust comes off on your hand. If it does, this is a sign that moisture is not being repelled as it should. If you have any doubts about the condition of your wall surfaces, contact your professional paint or coating sale representative to help you conduct a Rylum tube test on your building. Enjoy the video.
Hello everybody, we're going to show you what a Rylum tube is. It's a device designed to measure the surface tension of a masonry surface or other surfaces. What we're going to do is we're going to apply this before we apply a sealer to measure the absorption rate in this surface, and then we're going to also do it after we apply the sealer to make sure that we've got a full seal on the building. So what we're going to do is affix some putty to this tube. That's what it looks like. And then we're going to affix it to the wall like so, putty. Then we're going to take some bottled water, air temperature bottled water, not too cold, not too hot. We're going to fill the tube carefully. It's also measured. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to fill it right about to the top line, and then we're going to wait a little bit, maybe 15, 20 minutes, maybe a half an hour. We're going to measure how far that line goes down, and we're going to know what we're after here. All right. Okay, we had an error in our test from before. Some of the water leaked around the putty, and we didn't feel we were getting an accurate reading. So we're going to start the test over again. And I'm going to illustrate this to you. We're going to learn as we go here. When you press the Rylum tube up against the wall, you want to make sure that you finger press the putty around so you get a really great seal. Because what you don't want is leaking. This wet spot represents what was leaking around the putty. So now you make sure your seal is very, very tight. So when you add the water, you know that the only water that's going to leave the Rylum tube is the water that's going to get absorbed through the brick. Right there, right up to the 0 mark, and we're good to go. Okay, another quick way of measuring absorption in a wall is simply to take a garden hose, and in this case we're going to take a little bottle of water. We're going to just throw it up against the wall, all right, like this, and you're going to be able to see with your own eyes what absorbs more than others. In this case, as you can see the darkness on the wall, that the joints are collecting the water, absorbing the water a lot quicker than the actual brick. Brick is a lot denser than the joint material. So, and then as you watch it dry, you're also going to see that the bricks are going to dry a lot quicker than the mortar and the joints. An old painter's trick is that if you want to get a paint job, you want to drive around town right after a rain and the sun comes out, you'll watch the wall dry. Well, wherever there's moisture penetration in a building, those areas are going to stay darker, which are wetter, longer. So if you see a wall that's got a bunch of cracks in it, you may not see those cracks in a sunny day, but you're going to see them after a rain. It's an old painter's trick, and you can use that to identify moisture intrusion problems in your own building. Walk around after a rain, after the sun gets a chance to dry a little bit, and you'll see the areas that are problems. Okay, our time is up. A half an hour is gone. We moved from one line to the next. I would say that's maybe a couple of milliliters of water. It's hard to estimate. It's just to give you an idea of the density of the brick and of the surface to decide whether or not water is penetrating. So right now, it's a very minimal absorption. So we've got good density, we've got a good surface. It's hard to tell whether any clear sealer has been on this building before, but we know that our brick is solid, and from our hand applied water test, we know that the mortar joints are very absorbent. So we definitely need sealer and possibly other waterproofing products in the joints, especially in any cracks within the joint itself, or a brick to joint crack, right? In each one of these seams, that seems to be on this building where most of the water absorption is happening. So anyway, our Rylum tube has worked well. It's told us that our brick is in good shape and should after we apply the sealer be totally waterproof.